Welcome everyone. Today, I'm going to talk about the main components of a computer. We'll look at each part, understand its function, and see how all these components work together to make a computer run smoothly. The motherboard is a flat board with many circuits and connectors where you put the other computer components. It is considered the heart of the computer because it allows electrical current to flow, composing data to connect all the computer parts. Despite arguably being the most important, it's usually much cheaper than the rest of the components. The CPU, Central Processing Unit, or processor, is a small square chip that sits on the motherboard, usually covered by a cooling fan like air cooling or water cooling. Is known as CPU is brain of the computer because it handles every calculation and instruction needed to make everything work. For example, when you type something and see the words appear, open a program, or browse the internet, that's all the CPU's role. Despite its tiny size, the CPU is one of the most expensive and powerful parts of a computer. The graphics card, GPU, is a rectangular board with a large chip in the center, usually covered by a fan to keep it cool. Unlike the CPU, the graphics card handles visual tasks, such as playing video games, video editing, and 3D rendering. Think of the CPU as the logical thinker and the GPU as the artistic painter. It's one of the most expensive components of a computer. However, some CPUs, there's also integrated graphics AI GPU, where the GPU is built into the CPU. This is more cost-efficient, but offers weaker performance. So for heavy games, you'll need to lower the graphics settings to avoid lag. The hard drive is a box-shaped storage device, usually made of metal. It holds all the computer's data, including the operating system, programs, and personal files like photos and videos. Inside, it has a tiny moving arm and a spinning magnetic disk. A moving arm that reads and writes data. Hard drives can store lots of data, but they're relatively slow because data travels through small wires and takes time to access. RAM, Random Access Memory. RAM is a thin rectangular stick that plugs into the motherboard. RAM stores the data just like a hard drive, but much less space available. Good thing about the RAM is how fast it can access information, making it useful to quickly communicate to the CPU. Imagine the hard drive as a garage full of items, and the RAM as your tool bag. The garage has everything, but it takes time to find what you need, while the tool bag holds only the essentials for quick access. Unlike the hard drive, RAM clears all data once the computer is turned off. The SSD, solid-state drive, works like a hard drive, but is faster and more durable. Instead of spinning disks and wires, it uses memory chips. Some computers have both an SSD and a hard drive, while others use only an SSD. Though more expensive, SSDs have become standard due to their speed and reliability. The cooling fan keeps the system from overheating. Some areas, like the CPU, can become very hot, so fans push out hot air and bring in cool air to prevent performance slowdowns or damage. High-performance systems may use liquid cooling for better heat management. The power supply unit, PSU, is a rectangular box that converts electricity from your wall outlet into usable power for all computer components. Laptops also have a power supply, even though they use a battery for portable power. The wireless card is a small component that allows a computer to connect to Wi-Fi networks without needing a physical Ethernet cable. Without it, a computer can only connect to the internet via a wired connection. Finally, case. The case is the outer shell of the computer. It houses and protects all the internal components. The case also helps with cooling, as it has vents and openings for airflow. Cases come in different sizes and styles, from compact builds to large gaming or high-performance PCs.